Considering these are Yamaha's entry-level earphones, they'd make you think that these don't have much to offer. You'd be right and wrong to think that. These are the Yamaha E3B. I didn't go into this review expecting too much from these, but they do shine where it counts, and I'm quite surprised that a lot more people aren't talking about these. Before I continue, I would like to thank Yamaha for making this review possible by sending me a demo unit. All thoughts and opinions in this review are my own. So let's jump straight into this review with their build. Instead of getting the standard Apple AirPods unboxing that most manufacturers are trying to replicate, Yamaha has stuck to a more traditional unboxing experience, and it's nice to see that they've stuck to this. You get the earbuds, case, USB-A to USB-C charging cable, not just 2 extra ear tips but 3 sets, making it a total of 4 sizes you can choose from for that perfect fit. You get extra small, small, medium on the earbuds and large ear tips, and you also get the literature in the box. The case has a very simple design and has a matte finish, ensuring you always have a good grip while holding it. There's the Yamaha 3 tuning fork logo etched into the lid, which catches light thanks to being glossy, which is neatly done. The front of the case has 4 LED lights to indicate the battery level of the case, and the rear of the case has a USB-C charging point. The case doesn't have a spring-loaded lid but has a smooth movement and a quick snapping sound when it's shut thanks to having a magnet that holds it shut. Upon opening the case, the earbuds are revealed, but don't switch on just yet. For that, you have to take them out of the case. They also have the company logo on the sides of the buds, which also works as tactile buttons, which is a nice method of interacting instead of the usual touch controls. The earbuds have a similar matte finish as the case, and funnily enough can be placed in either charging compartment without any fuss, and will in fact charge despite being placed in the opposite side, so you're always good to go even when you're in a hurry. On a comfort front, these sit very snug in my ears, but it didn't happen with the ear tips you get straight out of the box. I had to go through the few ear tips until I figured out which ear had the better seal with which ear tip independently. This might take you some time to figure out, but it's worthwhile taking it to enjoy these earphones' full potential on a sound front. And once you figured out which set of ear tips are the right ones for you, their isolation on these is quite good, making you not regret the lack of active noise cancellation. These are well built and have no gaps for dust to creep in. They come with an IPX5 rating, so should be more than good enough for your outdoor runs. These come with Bluetooth 5.0, they have voice assistant support, and you do have a dedicated app you can connect to. The tactile buttons also control how you interact with your music. A single tap on either bud lets you play and pause your music. A double tap on the left will reduce the volume. Doing the same on the right will increase the volume. A press and hold on the right will take you to the next track, and the same on the left will take you to the previous track. And 3 quick taps on the right earbud will engage your voice assistant. There are 2 Yamaha apps you can download from the App Store or Play Store: Yamaha Headphones app and Yamaha Headphone Controller. These work with the Headphones app. It gives you access to the user guide, and you can upgrade your firmware from here if there is an update. It shows you the charge your earphones are holding. You can toggle between on and off modes for the listening care, which I'll speak about in the chapter about sound, and you can engage an auto power off timer as well. These don't have active noise cancelling, but they do come with environmental noise cancelling. They have 1 microphone per earbud, and they run an algorithm that helps isolate your voice over all the noise. So for those of you who are interested in knowing how clear these will be for your recipients for any calls, there really is only one way to find out. So I'm standing on the usual busy street where I normally do a lot of these podcasts, just to give you the idea of the amount of noise that these earphones are going to be carrying. There is a good amount of traffic over here today with some construction work going on behind me as well. Now, I have been on the camera microphone all this time. I will shift over to the E3B microphone right about now. And now considering these only come with 1 microphone per year, but I don't see these too well. But you are in the deciding seat right now, because you need to decide whether this demo works for you and your recipients. If you think my voice is being carried over clear enough for them to understand you. Now, usually what I do is, if a set of earphones has active noise cancelling, I toggle between those modes just to see if there's a difference in the algorithm and if there is strain with the ENC. Now, these don't have that. So what I'm going to do instead is, I'm going to remove 1 earphone and put it back in the case, just to see if 1 earphone takes a little more load instead of working with the other one. So I'll put the right earphone back in the case. And it's back in the case, and it should turn off right about now.
So when these are on, in fact, when I'm listening to the passive isolation, there is a lot of noise bleeding in, obviously, because I'm literally about 8 feet away from this main road. But in other situations at home or if you're in an office, it is the passive isolation is actually quite good. So I do hope this demo has given you a little more clarity about how these earphones actually are. And of course, I'll see you back in the studio.
Here's where things start making sense and you realize that Yamaha has spent more time on how these sound rather than cramming a whole bunch of features into these earphones. These come with a 6mm dynamic driver and support SPC, AAC and aptX codecs. These also have a frequency response of 20 Hz all the way up to 20 kHz. Yamaha has used a mode called listening care. It's based off the Fletcher-Munson curve, but it's come a long way over all these years with a lot of R&D to reach this specific point in time. In brief, I find myself listening to music anywhere between 55 to 65% volume with a lot of other TWS earphones. But with these, I found these to be very comfortable at 35% and there's no real need to go any higher. Even all the way down at 5% to 10% volume, these don't really start sounding tinny. There is a fullness of sound in that range. What this mode is doing is actually giving you a sweet spot of sound across the entire volume scale. So you don't really have to keep cranking it up and risking damaging your ears. And because the human ear interprets different frequencies at different volumes, this ensures that you get a rounded sound no matter where you sit on the volume scale. Soundstage with these earphones is like most other TWS earphones in the market. It exists within a bubble in your head, but there is good separation between left and right channels and your phantom channel does sit dead center. Some tones with these do give you the illusion of sitting slightly further out of the earphones, but this occurs very rarely. Imaging is where these put on quite the show for a set of TWS earphones. There is detail in the softest string to the loudest horn. Placing instruments or vocals is quite effortless with these. Now they are not exactly pin sharp, but they work very well for active listening. High frequencies come to you with a touch of class rather than any flamboyance, making these soft and easy on the ear despite being a little elevated. They stay far away from being brittle but have good definition thanks to how well these image. Whether you listen to EDM, rock or even jazz music, the highs stay true to being nuanced and remain enjoyable until the batteries die. Listening to Dream Theater's Hell's Kitchen, there's a good amount of cymbal hits and crashes through this glorious piece of music, and at no point do these earphones sound offensive or obnoxious in this range. Rather, they kept me wanting to keep this track on loop. There is a bit of a recession in the mid frequencies, but it's not done in a way where it sounds like it's at a lower volume. Rather, it sounds like it's coming at a bit of a distance. This helps give a little more dimension in this range. Male vocals sit a little further back than female vocals, but manage to remain defined without losing too much depth. Despite this slight recess, instruments in this range don't disappear. Anything from keys to strings carry on through with detail, albeit in the distance. Listening to Spandau Ballet's True, their harmonizing comes through cleanly and you can really appreciate how dynamic this group's vocals are. It's not lost with these earphones. Listening to low frequencies has been kind of refreshing because it's not bloated and exaggerated like some earphones I've heard in the recent past. It's not in your face, but it is present. It has a balanced approach to handling this range, whether you listen to anything from heavy bass or acoustic audio. Bloated, these are not. They do have a relaxed approach towards delivering this range and are punchy enough to enjoy bass lines in music, but these won't keep a bass head happy. They're certainly not directed at being over-exaggerated. Listening to Elton John and Dua Lipa's Cold Heart, these certainly hit lower frequencies without any issues, and because of how balanced the bass line is, it doesn't interfere with the mids and highs, so you don't get robbed of detail in those ranges. So to sum up, when it comes to the build, these are simple right from the get-go. They've got a nice matte finish, it's very nicely done. It ensures you have good grip with these, and this simplicity also translates over to the comfort because I did think that these wouldn't fit me well or would be uncomfortable, but once I figured out the right ear tip size, I didn't have any discomfort even over longer listening sessions. One thing I did like is that you can interchange the earphones in the charging case without any fuss. With some earphones, they either don't fit, or even if they slot into the case like that, they wouldn't charge. These work without any issue. Now the tactile buttons do work pretty well. I've not had any issues with them. The app will certainly leave you wanting if you're somebody who appreciates a lot of features, but the app has exactly what you need. It has a software update if you need one. It's got the user manual, You can toggle between the listening care mode on and off, and you can put the auto timer. Now, a lot of people will want a whole lot of other features, but that makes interacting with earphones a lot more fiddly. I think these would work perfectly well for the kind of person who just wants to grab the earphones and go. There are a lot of people who do like interacting with the app and the features of the earphones, but the fact that these don't have that lets you be more involved with the content you're absorbing, be it music or video. It lets you focus more towards that rather than fiddling with your earphones. On the sound front, these are crisp and detailed. They stay clear of being bloated. So if you're moving to these from a set of earphones that had exaggerated sound, I don't think you'll appreciate these. These, I think, are more in the step towards audiophile gear, because it does give you a truer sound. It is a lot more detailed than a lot of the other TWS earphones I've heard. So it's worthwhile keeping that in mind, especially if you're a bass enthusiast. These are definitely not for you. I do like the fact that Yamaha has taken the route that a lot of other TWS earphones haven't. They are choosing to be truer to sound, and I can see why they're doing it, because the Yamaha that I know is the Yamaha that makes pianos. So they've always been obsessed with giving a much truer tone than anything exaggerated. So who are these for? Well, if you're the kind of person who wants to just get up and go, pick up your earphones in the morning and be ready for your commute, I think these make sense for you. There's no complication of being involved with too many features. It's not complicated. Now, the battery life is also pretty good. You can get upwards of 5.5 to 6 hours with these. Now, no doubt, listening to volumes at slightly lower than 50 should give you a little more listening time with these, and you can get a full 24 hours of listening time with these along with the case. Or if you're planning on gifting a set of earphones to someone from an older generation during a festive season, I think these would make sense, because these are genuinely no nonsense. The main focus for these earphones has definitely been their sound, and if you do want a set of earphones that have that as a priority and are no nonsense, these could be for you. So how much do these cost? Well, at the time of recording this, Yamaha has launched these fairly recently in India, and these should be available on Amazon by the time this video goes live. But on the Yamaha website, these are going for an MRP of 8,490. But keep an eye on Amazon as well, because you should check and see where you can get a better deal, because I'm sure there will be some sales going on during festive seasons as well. So I will leave both their links down below. So if you're still here, I do presume you like the content on my channel, and if you would like to support it, I'm sure you know exactly how to. I hope I've helped you make some sort of purchase decision. But of course, thank you for tuning into Paul's POV for some sound advice.